Today we will talk about the best export settings for social media. That includes YouTube, TikTok and Instagram. Sorry Vimeo. Most of you will probably still export your videos in H.264, but there is a better way to do it. Let me explain. Introducing the codec she told you not to worry about, H.265. But why is it better, and most importantly, in which use cases is this codec better? So in a nutshell, H.265 is way better and more efficient at handling larger file sizes and higher resolutions such as 4K video. And nowadays most cameras and mobile phones can record 4K easily. So most of you have footage laying around that is 4K and above. Some maybe have even 6K or 8K. And with that resolutions, H.265 will handle that way better and more efficiently. H.265 will deliver the same amount of quality with less bitrate and less data size. That means if you export in 4K video in H.264, you have a bigger file size and a higher bitrate, which will get compressed by social media platforms more heavily. Because social media platforms, at least to this point, are free to use and they have a great interest in keeping file sizes low because they have to pay for the storage. So H.265 on the other hand gives you the same amount of quality at a lower bitrate and a lower file size. And why is that good? Well, it's pretty simple. The social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok, don't have to compress your footage as much because the bitrate and the file size is already lower than H.264, and therefore your video won't get compressed as heavily and you don't lose that much quality in the image as if you would upload an H.264 video. So maybe you're thinking now, YouTube is not supporting H.265. At least that's what you find out when you Googled it, but there's a little catch. On the official side of things, YouTube does not support H.265, but on the other hand, you can stream to YouTube in H.265 and you can also upload videos in this codec. The only thing YouTube will do is take your H.265 codec and convert it to H.264, which means it's not a true H.265 codec. But, and that's the most important fact, the bitrate and the data size stay the same and the quality stays the same, which means YouTube has now a H.264 file with all the video information, the color depth, the quality at a lower bitrate, at a lower data size, and won't compress the video as much, and that's exactly what we want. So even if YouTube is not playing the native codec and is converting it to a regular H.264 file, you still have the better quality, the better bitrate, the better image quality. Another important fact on YouTube is to always upload your videos at 4K. Trust me. Even if you filmed in 1080p, it's very important that you upload your footage in 4K. Why is that? Pretty simple. For 1080p videos, YouTube won't give you that much bitrate to work with, and for 4K they will higher the standards, so you get more bitrate, more image quality and less artifacts, noise and washed out colors. Because there are two different codecs, YouTube will play back videos and you can check that yourself pretty easily. If you go on YouTube and play any video, you can right click the video and press stats for nerds. And under codec, you will find two different codecs depending on the video you're watching. Codec number one and the better quality codec is VP09. VP09 is the codec that plays the video in the highest quality available and looks great. But then there's codec number two, which is less quality playback, and that's the codec AV01. If you see that codec, it means YouTube is basically saying, hey, I will take your video and crush it down. And a good solution, which will not always work, very important, but will work most of the time, is uploading your video in 4K, because then you have to get more bitrate by YouTube and the possibility of you getting the better codec is very likely. It's not 100% guaranteed that you will get better codec if you upload 4K videos, but if you upload 1080p videos, I will guarantee you that you will always get the worst codec. Before we move on to TikTok and Instagram, if you liked the video so far, then leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It would really mean a lot and help this channel out. Now let's talk about Instagram and TikTok. I will still choose to render the file out in H.265, but there's a little catch and something I would do differently. As social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok are focusing heavily on vertical content nowadays, I would choose to lower your resolution to full 1080p instead of 4K. 1080p video on a small mobile screen is still more than enough resolution for the video to look crisp and clean. You don't need 4K. That's just reality, and the platforms will not play your video back in 4K. There's no chance. Because you have to think about the massive files that get uploaded every day to Instagram and TikTok. If they would play back all the videos in 4K, they would run out of storage pretty fast. So if you recorded your files in 4K, that's great. If you export them in 1080p, they will get downscaled and look even sharper, more crisp. So you don't really lose anything here, and on a small mobile screen, you won't even notice the difference. The rest stays pretty much the same. For YouTube, if you export in H.265, choose bitrate main and highest quality and choose the bitrate that doubles your frame rate. For example, if you shot your video in 24 frames, then take 50. I know it's not quite the double, but it's a clean number. So that means 24 frames, 50 Mbit and so on. But for Instagram and TikTok, I would lower that. I would go for VBR Pass 1 and lower your bitrate to 13. That's what you find in the internet, which works best for the platforms because they can't handle high amount of bit rates, so be careful with that. 13 is enough for a 1080p video. Don't forget, it's not 4K. And always make sure to use the checkboxes. Use maximum render quality and use maximum depth for YouTube, TikTok and Instagram. And that's it, you're done. You know now the highest quality export settings for all the social media platforms. And if you stick to this workflow, you are more than proved for the future, because nowadays the most modern computers and mobile phones can play back H.265 easily. And once the day comes that the platforms will switch over to H.265, your workflow is bulletproofed and you already know what to do. That's it for the video. Once again, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss future videos. Hope you're having a nice day. See you in the next one. Bye bye.